Good afternoon. And yawn. There we go. I didn't think it was picking me up for a minute then. Anyway, good afternoon. Let's get going. So, where we left off last time, I'd made, frankly, a bit of a balls of it all. And we went back and we fixed it. And then Rory kicked me in the head. So, let's get on with this. Hi, lovey. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. My channel's generally exceptionally quiet, so don't be too surprised when I sit here in silence. But yes, I know you do bobbin lace too, so I doubt you have any questions, other than what the heck are you making? Well, I find it difficult to sit and talk to myself. Now, as I live alone, I do talk to myself a lot, but it's usually much more the "you stupid cow, you shouldn't have done that, what the hell were you doing, why did you do that?" And when there's no conversation going on around me, it's very difficult, because I'm autistic, it's very difficult for me to imagine what people would want me to say, because while I record this and put it up on YouTube, so that people can watch it, and more to the point, I can remind myself how freaking long this took me, I also don't expect anyone wants to watch it, because, well, I'm making 18 identical squares made of 72 identical triangles. Talk about boring. And so it kind of, I don't expect people to watch. I don't expect people to... Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy lace making. I do struggle to stream it, because to have stupid camera, to have computer near enough that it can do all the computery bits, and I can't sit in a comfortable position with my pillow. So before I started streaming it, I could do 12 hours worth of lace making and I didn't really mind. Now we've been going 26 minutes and my back's already going, is that really a good idea? Not sure we should be doing this. And it really does limit what I can do. And it's because I have to sit at a slightly angle. And I am talking directly in front of me is that angle. So it is the trying to... I mean, I could put the camera to the right and then have it this way and tell it to flip the picture. The problem with that then is that everyone screens a landscape. The camera would then be portrait, so then there'd be big gaps and crap in the middle, and so I can't really put it to one side. And it was bad enough getting the camera, which is constantly wonky. By the way, it's at an angle like, kind of like this. Well, more like that. If I flatten it, you can see, instead of being straight like that, it's kind of wonky. Everything just seems to get in the way, and everything seems to make it awkward. Whereas when I was if I lace mace off stream, it's really comfortable, but I want to not do any of this off stream. And I've made myself kind of a hard and fast rule for that. Because my brain does wake up with this, hey, I've got this really stupid idea, it's kind of like, so you managed 2 stitches, let's make a king-size bedspread. And I need my brain to quit it. And so part of this was the biggest thing I think my brain could come up with. But it was the biggest thing I could think of that I could actually use, which is going to be a net curtain. Now, it's going to be a pretty ugly net curtain because obviously I'm joining squares together. And in joining the squares together, it's going to have the join lines, which don't look so bad on a tablecloth or a bedspread. But as a net curtain, it really needed to be one piece, but I didn't really have the facilities to do one piece. Well, now I do have the facilities to do it in one piece for a single pane window anyway. But it's a bolster pillow. And for a bolster pillow, of course, you need to view from the front. Well, if you're viewing from the front, the camera's got to be my side. Well, then it's going to be in my way, isn't it? And having it lean over, maybe you could do it from the back, but then you'd have to have quite a long reach forward so that it could bend over. If you think, if this is the back and the bolster pillow's here, it's going to have quite a long arm to view from the front. And that would make it top heavy, it would probably fall over. It is not an ideal thing to try and stream, to be honest. And I had one of the things, if you try streaming it, one of the things that I had a real problem was the pattern paper. Most of us use blue or green pattern paper, but it was too bright for on stream. It meant that all of this just disappeared. And so I've got brown craft paper that I printed on and then laminated. I've laminated so it lasts and I don't have to print off 6,000 of them. And I think that's kind of the thing that when you're doing it in your own kind of time and place, my ads are about to kick in, sorry. So yes, I ended up with this brown craft paper because it's actually quite calming for my eyeballs, but it's also freaking cheap. And and yeah, one of the other things that I did on this stream that you might like is I have text to speech reading out what you do. So I can be looking at this and only looking at this, and what you say comes in my ear. You can't hear it. So it's not like you hear it. Yeah, so it's not like you guys have to listen to all of your chatter. So if you start a conversation amongst yourselves, while it's on screen in the text in the bottom, it's not reading it out to you. It only reads it out to me. And you also can't hear that I've got Harry Potter Goblet of Fire going on as well. So it meant that I was in a position to... I play you music that I then don't listen to. I can't hear it at all. I cannot hear any of the music that you do because, well, I'd get bored of it. But it means that I can have silence if I want. I can have sound if I want, so I can have it read me an audiobook. I can have it play me TV. I can have it, playing tunes that I'm in the mood for. But at the same time, I can concentrate on what I'm doing without having to miss things in chat, without having any of that going on. Well, I do pause, partly because I'm listening to what people are saying, but also I'm aware that there is a delay. And it does make... No, I have doggies. I have two very unhelpful doggies. Let me introduce them to you. So those are my two helpful friends. Sleep is their... Yeah, she keeps biting... Well, she keeps pulling at his and stealing it. Yeah. He suckles on her ears and she bites his bells. So, they are a silly bear. So yeah, I do find streaming sometimes very depressing because I sit here on my own all the time. But the reason I'm doing it is to make myself do it, because it's too easy to start a project and go and stick it in a cupboard and never do it. So part of me is doing it to get me to finish it, and I think I find it depressing when you've got, let's try not to sound too bitter and twisted, but people like Asmongold, who are strange individuals. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a lot better, but, tens of thousands of people watch him and his strange opinions, and I can't even, get 10 people, And so, you get people... I watch a guy called Pirate Software, and, until recently he was really interesting, because most of his streams would be kind of talking while doing stuff, because he's got quite a few followers. He has almost a constant stream of conversation going on in chat, and he'd join in with the chat conversation, and... it would then kind of logically follow that, more conversation would have. So he would have this, decent conversation going on with chat. And it would be interesting. But now he seems to be stuck playing World of Warcraft a lot. And frankly, I grew out of World of Warcraft quite a few years ago. And it just kind of, when it's been 4 solid weeks of him playing World of Warcraft. I mean, yes, there's chatter, but I grew out of that. I'm kind of not interested in that. And he used to always have quite a varied stream, so there would be, he would play games, but he would do some work on his game, do some programming, answer some questions, explain a few things about, security or something, and it was a much more varied stream. Whereas now it seems to be 12 hours a day of the man playing World of Warcraft. And while he does answer questions, he doesn't tend to stop and draw pictures and explain it all. And it has kind of taken the shine off a lot of it. But once again, you know, this guy, his chat, he gets quite a few people in chat. He can, you know, but they will be throwing money at him. In 3 days, he got over $45,000 in bits and donations. And I never expect that from people watching my stream. But at the same time, when you're thinking, well, all he's doing is playing World of Warcraft, it's not even the retail one. You know, it's, well, I think it might actually be, but you know, it's not. You know, it just does look more like the classic one. But there is a bit of you that kind of goes, okay, but it's not special. And I think my autistic brain cells get a little bit worked up about that, so I don't tend to watch him when he's doing World of Warcraft, which has completely broken my really long train of constant watching for him. I do find that I go off people because, you know, you start watching because they're doing X, whatever X may be, whether it's a crafting thing, whether it's a gaming thing, a programming thing. And then they kind of, I mean, I do it too, so, you know, it's not a criticism of them, but it means I go off their stream when they vary off onto something else, and I'm not interested in the something else. And they say fixated on it for ages, to the point that I kind of stop following it, because I'm sick of hearing that they're streaming that crap that I'm not interested in. And, you know, you can have only so many notifications in life, especially when they're not really relevant to you, so you turn them off. And then, of course, when they do go back to something you were interested in, you're not there anymore. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who does that, but I've certainly struggled with that, because I want to do, I want to be able to watch more people. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure people don't come and watch my stuff because they watch it and go, oh, I saw that last week. I saw that 2 weeks ago. Because it's the exact same, it might as well be the exact same triangle. I might as well have just recorded me doing one triangle and just have it on repeat. Because, well, it is the same triangle. Now, we have occasionally varied off into some other experiments. One completely had me losing my marbles, and for 4 hours on stream, I literally was a gibbering wreck. That was, I'm sure, really pleasurable to watch. Yeah. But it was, you know, it is difficult to find a balance, because I'm mainly streaming this for my own edification. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am arguably not doing this for anyone other than myself. And it's always been a bit of a bugbear of mine that, you know, you get these people, especially YouTubers, to be honest, who, you know, stream every, you know, who produce great long videos. They've got producers and editors and marketing staff and a whole waft of people, and this is their livelihood, and they've chosen that as their livelihood. Hello, I work in IT, that's what I do for a living. And 3, 4, 5, we'll need you in a minute, except for you, so. And then, you know, kind of every few, you know, after about 6 months, they all go, oh, I'm so burnt out, it's so stressful. Well, this is the job you chose, love. It's a bit like some of the celebrities who, you know, want to be rich and famous, and then the moment they are, whine that they have no privacy. But you wanted to be rich and famous. You got what you wanted. So, I know that part of it is my brain and how I'm made, but I do find sometimes some of these things really depressing when you watch someone who is doing something no more entertaining, and they've got tens of thousands of people, and people are throwing money at them, almost like hookers on the stand, right? And you're kind of going, it kind of rubs me up the wrong way, and I can't handle it, so I tend to run away. But I need to do this. on Wednesday I made a mistake. I made quite a big mistake. Stupid idiot. And it looks like I've made another one. That doesn't look right. There it is. Occasionally they don't look right for a bit. But, you know, I made a mistake on Wednesday. I fixed it on Thursday. And just before I was about to stream on Friday, Rory headbutted me. Really hard. Well, he knee butted me, kicked me in the head. And it made me go all wonky for about 45 minutes. Not major wonky, just wonky enough that I didn't feel right. So I didn't stream on my usual spot on Friday, which was very disappointing. But I'm also finding that I stream for like 3 or 4 hours and nobody comes. And then just as I'm fed up with it and I want to give up, people appear. And I then find myself kind of feeling pressured to keep going when I've already kind of worked out that I'm done. That doesn't look right. It's because it's not somehow. Did I screw up? That's what's going on. Did I screw up somehow? I did. I screwed up again. There doesn't seem to be a pair leaping out of that pin. So the next pair is one pin too far. Look, I've got a pair coming out of here, and the previous pair comes out of the... To be honest, the only problem with more bobbins is keeping them out the way. When you've only got a handful and they're in play, it's easy because you've got the whole kind of area working on and lots of room and you can see what you're doing. When you've got more bobbins, like my pile back here, which depending on when you joined yours, if I give you an idea that there are 10 bobbins in every stick and there's 4 sticks in this pile, so this is actually a pile of 40 bobbins. Actually it must be more than that. 40, 50, 60. Yeah, it's about right. Because there's a couple more underneath the cloth here. And if you had 40 bobbins and you tried to just have them in the kind of semicircle thing, you'd literally have, you'd have to pick one bobbin up, move it over and put it down, because there would be standing room only. And to be honest, you always like to be able to see and move your bobbins about a bit, so you always almost want this portion to be the bit where you and your 4 bobbins, or 8 bobbins depending on your lace variety, are working in. You would kind of want this section for yourself. Well, they don't fit. They literally do not fit. If you try and splay them all in a circle, you get to a point where they just don't fit. Now, these sticks here, I got these off Etsy. Some of them are slightly not straight, so they're, they bent a bit. But I love these because they're quite wide, so that how do I explain this? I didn't get on with those. Now, it doesn't mean you won't, but the reason I didn't get on with them is because, well, basically, it just makes your bobbins into a snake. So you have this snake. I mean, I can pick up these bobbins and move them around really easily, right? And they're quite stable, so that when the dog knocks the pillow over, as they've done on a couple of occasions now, I also have knocked the pillow over on one occasion, so, it's not a pure dog thing. But it does mean that should you knock it or whatever, but you see, I can make a pile of these because they're quite flat. Doesn't really work so well with the crochet ones, and you can't pick them up by an end and move them around. Yeah, I mean, I've got some stick ones that are thinner, so they're about half the width of these. The bobbins just kind of, I mean, it's a bit more stable. I've got 3 lots, so I've got these, which are my favourite. I've got some thinner ones, which kind of work, but not quite as well. And then I've got the kind of knitting needle ones. Now, I like the knitting needle ones because the spring on them's real firm. The bobbins do not move. They do not. I mean, if you look here, this bobbin's trying to twist a bit, and you kind of have to, and they can move about a bit. The knitting ones, they do not move. There is no moving. But of course, it's a knitting needle, so you've not got the stability when you pick it up. They kind of flap around a bit. I don't get on with bobbins that have spangles for the same flapping around reason. I can't believe I managed to screw this up. How did I screw this up but keep the right number of bobbins? I don't know, but I managed it. And of course I managed it near the beginning, so time to put aside what we were doing now. Like this. And we need you and you. And we need to undo a load. Hurrah! Let's not. So I don't know how I achieved that. Because normally, if you screw it up, you have the wrong number of bobbins. But I have the right number of bobbins, which clearly means somehow I really did mess it up good. It looks like I messed it up twice, actually. So, that's another thing. The other thing that I do that a lot of people don't do is when I'm doing a lot of cloth stitch like this, you'll notice that I just kind of seem to constantly be moving 2 bobbins. This is because the logical part of my brain kicked in. So, when you do a cloth stitch, while I'm doing it backwards, you cross, twist, cross. Well, that's fine, but that's 3 moves. Think about it. So, for the first one, cross, twist. Now, I could cross, and this will then be here, and then normally you do the next cross. Well, what if you do the 2 together? And now, it's only 2 moves, and you zoom across to the other side. I do often do the pair I'm throwing out separately so that I can tension it a bit. And obviously I need to make these shorter. I do find that this is it makes my brain feel happy that I've, you know, when I'm doing this, because it makes it feel quicker. It's probably not really that quicker, but it makes it feel like I've got less chance to stuff it up. So you're out the way, you're out the way. I'm forever untwisting things the wrong way around, because I don't know about you, but I find it difficult to see because of the distance, because I'm an old fart. While I can see where the join is, I can't tell if thread is over or under because it's too damn small. So I inevitably twist and untwist the wrong direction, even though I should know, for I twisted it, because we always twist at the end of a row, therefore I should have to cross to undo it, but my brain just farts, and occasionally you come back and it's not what you thought, and your brain's going, well, how did I screw that up then? Because of course it's not, you know, it's not undoing, and you're kind of going, I mean, it should just be the reverse, right? You should twist when you cross and cross when you twist. It should be no more complicated than that. Doesn't seem to work out that way. It's just a pain, frankly. And you are too long on your getting on my nerves. And one of the things that I've noticed is that as a whole, if any bobbin is going to slip and get longer by its own accord, it's my left hand bobbin of a pair. Now, I cannot explain why it's the left hand bobbin of a pair, but it seems to be primarily left hand bobbins of a pair for me. Get longer. So, now, you should have been out. So let's put you in. That doesn't look like enough bobbins. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not. So why have I not got enough bobbins? How could I have screwed this up so much? I see why. In part, first of all, you are the wrong pinhole. That doesn't help. Let's move you up. But it still doesn't excuse having the right number of bobbins. Let's undo this bit because I can't see for looking. So let's... Sleep well, my friend, sleep well. Do come back another day. Bobbin has decided to get absolutely stupid. Let's undo this a bit. Wind it up again. Let's try that again. shuffling my pins about. They've been annoying. Could do with a bit more drink, actually. And a snack. I really want a snack. Let me go do a snack thing. There we go, back again. I have bought a snack. Now I've got to get in it. It is biscuits. Hey Brown Town, how you doing? The joys of getting ready for work. My sympathies. Life would be so much better if we didn't have to. Have you ever noticed you fancy a bit of a snack and actually you probably need like two 14-inch beers to kill it? And then other times you're ravenous, you cook a meal, you eat 3 bites of it and you're done. Why can't it just make its mind up? itchy. Hang on. There we go. That's a bit better. Oops, throwing pins around again. Now you can't have my biscuits. They're my biscuits. in. Get your nose out. Those are my biscuits. Why is it that I have biscuits and suddenly there are two really excited dogs? No, they're not for you. You don't share yours with me. Wretched animals. Munch biscuit, munch biscuit, munch, 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 munch. Add time for more biscuit. onions leaping into the floor. Mr. Paws, there are no biscuits for you. No. Or you, little miss. No. No, there are not. Fine, there can be dog treats. But you need to understand, you do not demand for food. This is not how we work round here. It's not. A special one. Not that it seems to make a huge difference, but, you know, give it a bit of a try. Jeez, these things stink. Right. There you go. There, now you've had your disgusting dog treats. By the way, yes, I have eaten one, and they were the most vile things in living history. If any of you have ever had, like, liver and onions for dinner, Liver is a speciality taste. You either hate it or you love it. A bit like Marmite. Well, these claim on the back to be 100% beef liver. Eat just one tiny chunk, which is about half a centimetre square. You will taste that shit for about 20 to 72 hours and it will taint the rest of your life. It is the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten, and I really have eaten shit. Not deliberately, but I really have. And I've eaten many forms of dog food, some of them intentionally, some of them not so much. I've never had anything so vile. No. And I tell the story of first when I did it. I had a bi-weekly call with a supplier. And I got on really well with her. She was a great lady. And I had, the dogs were kind of being annoying, so I thought I'd feed them one. And I said to her, actually, I haven't eaten those. She goes, eaten one. So I went, well, I've eaten everything else. Chomp, chomp, chomp. And kind of spat and cursed for about 10 minutes. Anyway, my ex-husband came round the next day. And I told him, how it went and the face I must have pulled because, well, it really was something else. And he went, oh, they can't be that bad, he said. And I went, I warn you. And he went, nah, they can't be that bad. I've eaten some really bad things in my time. My mother's cooking comes to mind. And it's like, seriously, dude, I lived on my mother's cooking for years. And I wasn't immune to them, so I don't know why you think you're going to be so special. Munch, munch. And then he pulled the face that I knew I'd pulled the day before. And hey presto, he could taste it for about the next 3 days. So if I say it's rank and you can taste it for days, I mean it. It really was something. I really don't know how they are that bad, considering it's just supposed to be freeze-dried liver. But rank is, too kind. Frankly, as I say, when you've successfully by accident eaten poo and it did not taste that bad, yeah. As I say, I don't know quite how it can taste that bad, but Jesus. And they love them. But it's funny how, dogs can turn their noses up at, dog food and stuff and do the whole I don't feel that this has got quite the level of culinary that I'm expecting, thank you very much, and yet then they eat stuff like that and you're like, most dogs will eat poo, and it really does say a lot when things that we eat, and I'm not talking about the things they're not allowed to have like chocolate and stuff, I'm talking but things that we eat and they won't. Are they truly telling us that poo tastes better than that? When it comes to sprouts, the answer is I'm sure they're right. Sprouts really are the work of the devil. And anyone who says, oh, but I like sprouts as long as you've cooked them with bacon and garlic and... No, you've just tainted good bacon and garlic with sprout. That's, No. Stop tangling. pins seem to be pointy end up. hole. It's big enough. Backache. That's a bit better. It's a bit more in the middle now. Right. Getting back's really not in the mood now. Mentioned it from the beginning, but it literally has just hit me like someone stabbed me in the back. I can't even find a sensible place that feels better. Other than slouching all the way back, but then I get dogs in my face. And I can't do needlework, I can't do bobbin lace from here, because I can barely reach the pillow. Let's finish this rabbit lace, come on. We will make it to the end of this little bit, if nothing else. 3 hours, it doesn't feel like we've done very much, mind, but you know. Really had hoped to achieve a bit more than this today. Isn't this always the way? Rory, you're not helping. No, you're not helping. No, it doesn't help. Doesn't help. Really doesn't. Right, disappointing as always, but I think that's going to have to be it for today, unless maybe in a couple of hours or so my back's in the right mood. It might even have uploaded to YouTube this one by then, and that obviously is a factor because my dog crap internet can't handle both, so I'm going to call it a day, most likely. I shall try and be back tomorrow, although obviously working day. I am finding it hard, I think because it's winter and dark and stuff, but I am finding it hard to do a day's work and do a couple, obviously I've got dog things to do and me things to do, and fitting in a couple of hours of this and then waiting 3 hours for it to upload barely fits in all the time, and it's feeling a little like there isn't any me time left. There isn't any time for sitting around and just doing nothing or fiddling with something, because I'm constantly either working or doing something relating to this during the working week, and I am struggling with that. Obviously taking yesterday off as well, because I've been getting a big headache because, well, Mr. Knee and my temple really did meet rather hard. There's nothing actually wrong with me, it's just a headache. It's not, hospital job or concussion or anything like that. It just left it a bit sore. And being a rather tender area, it doesn't help. And so, yesterday, I was going to, and by the time I was kind of in the mood, it was really late. And as I've explained, obviously, if you work on the principle of for every minute that I stream, it takes a minute to upload, give or take a bit. So if I do a 2-hour stream at, say, 10 o'clock at night, well, it's going to be midnight before it uploads. And obviously with a bit of a gap, because I've got to type in all the crap that goes with it. So it does often mean that I've been going to bed like 1, 2 in the morning, because if I've done 2-3 hours and I start uploading at 10, well, it's 1/2 in the morning when it's finished. So this doesn't help with the enthusiasm and the joy aspect of it. And, you know, not too surprisingly also, here we are on Triangle 14. They are beginning to feel a little bit samey, as we knew they would. And I am debating at the end of this triangle a side project, but I haven't thought of what I would do. And of course, the problem with side projects is I've got to have found it, planned it, wound on a load of bobbins for it, which takes quite considerable time. And so then it's kind of almost like a whole day dedicated to set up just for a side project. And one thing I would like to try, I know it sounds really stupid, but Buck's Point, normally done on a 60-degree angle, well, ish, can be done on this kind of grid. And there is a bit of me that would like to try doing this in the style of Buck's Point. So having, admittedly, it would normally have gimps between the ground and the cloth, and it doesn't really do rose ground, but, you know, even if I just did gimps and the cloth and, I know, half stitch or something the other side, right, where all the rose ground is, there is a bit of me that really wants to try that. But I'm not spending a month on a trial, right, for something that I'm doing just because I wondered what it would look like. I could do a triangle. That could work. But again, that kind of takes a week or so. And I don't really want to do a project that big. You really want something that you can do for an evening. I've got more cross stitch to do, but my back's playing up and, so, you know, been not so kind with that either. In sitting to do that, I'm finding my back hurts doing that as well. So with all of these things in mind, I just feel slightly out of control, and obviously there isn't an awful lot I can do for changing that. I've also kind of put in a command, by the way, for Discord. Now, there is literally like 3 people on my Discord. Hang on, let me click in the box, because of course that always helps. I can't type with one hand, really can't. So we have a Discord. You're welcome to join it. Twitch is really bad at notifications, so this allows you to be notified and to come say hello when I'm online, in case you didn't know. I have put a couple of group channels in there, but to be honest, the only person who's posted any of it so far is me. And that's fine. Really is. You know, not expecting the world of anything. But it is somewhere for you to catch up and say hello and have, you know, off-stream conversations perhaps. So yeah, I am struggling a little, but it's winter. I usually struggle a lot more in winter because it's darker, colder, wetter, miserabler. And I know that there is the seasonal adjustment disorder thing. I don't believe in that personally, because I just feel that winter is naturally depressing. It's not disorder, it's normal. It's very, you know, unless it's snowy and pretty, it can be really hard to be joyful in winter when it's like -6 outside. Bear in mind, we're centigrade over here. So -6 outside, sideways rain and dark. I mean, how's that fun? How's that joy bringing when all the water's turned to ice? You know, you try and walk the dog and all you get is a face full of cold rain, and your hands are cold, your legs are cold, your face is cold, and no matter what jacket you're wearing, it seems to go straight through it. And the dog's kind of going, well, fortunately my dogs don't go out in that because they refuse. And for this I am exceptionally grateful. This is one of their better features, in that they don't do weather. They don't even do wind, let alone weather. So I have a very easy life in winter for that point of view. But it's, you know, it's not overly good for them. So summer is much more easy because the sun is out. You can enjoy long weekends in the, you know, you can go and sit in the garden and enjoy it. You can, you know, listen to the birds and feel the warmth of the sun. And you just don't get any of that in winter. And so, I'm sorry, it's normal. It's a bit like, grief. Grief obviously is different in every person. But part of the reason it's called grief is because you are grieving. You are out of sorts. It's kind of supposed to be depressing. You are supposed to feel down. I mean, okay, there might be a few people in the universe that you'd be kind of cheery should they depart ways with the rest of us. But for the most part, if you lose someone that you care for, if you lose a pet, a family member, a friend, even someone maybe you weren't that close to, but who maybe at one point had been, you can feel profound loss. You can feel really out of sorts, knowing that you'll never speak to them, never see them. In the case of your pets, they will never tread on your head again. They will never, throw up down your back. They will never eat your socks. They will never poo in your shoes. Whatever it was, even if they were really infuriating, you go through the stages of loss with it. And if you don't find that depressing, well, there's something kind of a bit wrong with you, really. I mean, as I say, everyone's different, and maybe you feel it. Amy, thank you. Maybe you don't feel it for a huge amount of time. Maybe you feel it for an immense amount of time. Maybe you briefly feel a wave of loss and then realise that you don't have a lot of choice and move on, and you can. I mean, to be honest, I did better with the loss of my father than I have for pretty much any one of my dogs. Because I was an adult, I didn't live with him. He had lived a long, healthy life. Well, give or take a bit. He had not suffered on his way down. My brain kind of went, I accept that. And almost, it wasn't, totally sad-free, but I knew that was the right thing for him. And my brain accepted that. When it comes to my pets, of course, it's been a short time. They're a bigger part of my life. They're part of my daily life. So loss of them is much more impactful. And so, it does mean that you find yourself in a position where a loss of your pet, even one that sat in the corner and hated on you, well, appeared to hate on you. Apparently it loved me, but we'll ignore that. Even a loss of a pet that was antisocial, sat as far away from everybody as humanly possible, didn't like hugs, didn't want scratches on the head, didn't bring particularly any joy. It was daily part of your life. Get your nose out of my biscuits. Goodness sake, you've had biscuits, you've had dog treats, you've now had more than I have. I'm going to cook me some stew. And if you're really lucky, I will cook you some stew. My stew is very specific. It is not anti-dog in that it does not contain a lot of salt. Therefore, it is dog stew potential. And I put salt on mine so that it is flavourful. So that we can share. But it is primarily my stew. I have not bought things to make a you stew. No. I have not bought things to make a dog stew because frankly, no. I could make you a dog stew at some point. I'll look and see what's available on the online shopping thing for making dog stews. Specific for dog stews. Only for dog stews because it will taste like piss water. No! Do not be accidentally trying to lick my biscuits! I saw that! I'm talking of making you stew. Don't be freaking licking up my biscuits! Little cow. She did. She licked the outside of my biscuits. Well, what she couldn't tell was that they're in an invisible tub, so she thought it was a pile of biscuits. She just went to lick my biscuits. These are not the kinds of dogs who get stew. They're all looking at me with, well, why not? Because it's my fucking stew. Like, go. Right. So on that note, before I, start torturing animals or something, because I need to obviously go and put the biscuits away, because otherwise all they're going to do is be really annoying for the rest of the day. I really wish I had more of this thicker, lighter blue cloth, because these lighter blue cloths are slightly thicker than the others, and they really are quite nice. I like those, although obviously I like this brown one as well. For some reason I like this brown one. Anyway, having waffled now for a little bit, as I say, it is, I am struggling a little because it's winter, and the joys of winter are upon us. So let me move my light a little bit. There we go. I can move my table back to sensible places now. So yes, I shall be back hopefully tomorrow. Please do not judge me too harshly if I do not. For days at work do seem that bit of a struggle, but I do try, because I do want to do my lace making, and that's the bit that makes it hard for me, is that I want to do my lace making, but I get backache while I'm doing it, and then therefore start feeling uncomfortable and not wanting to do it because it hurts. But at the same time, I want to do it because I want to see it done. I want to see the end result. I want to do more of it. If I'd made myself a deal of just kind of like doing some on stream and doing some off stream, and let be what it is, it would probably be a lot further done, because I could put the pillow in front of me where the camera doesn't have to line up with anything, and all that kind of stuff, and I probably would have done a great chunk of it. Get your face out of my biscuit. And so yeah, but I do want to record all of it so that next time my brain has one of these big ideas, it can go do one. Even though it's still sitting in there contemplating how to do a net curtain in one piece. Now I've got a thing big enough to do it on, and stream it, because of course if it's going to do a big thing again, it's going to have to stream it, because that's the deal. But yeah, I have a really huge monster of a bolster cushion and nowhere to put it. Don't know quite how I hold it all down, but that doesn't matter. Who cares? Anyway, I shall hopefully see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of Sunday. Bye bye.